Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. We are pleased to be once again joined by Kaleb Forr, the head football coach at Grand Blanc. Kaleb, thanks for coming back on.
No, thanks for having me, Casey. I appreciate it.
So, of course, 2-0 to start the season. First two games are on the we're on the road. Of course, if you followed Grand Blanc football, especially in the past few years, you've known that they do pretty well on the road. So, why don't you just talk about the start of the season and how you guys are doing? And yeah.
Yeah, so I think the first two games were a good test for us, especially going over to Muskegon and playing Mona Shores on the road. They have a really good program. They're coached really well. They have really tough kids. To go in there and execute that we did on off the way we did on offense, defense, and special teams was great. It was a long day for us getting over there. So any way that you could win on the road is huge. And then, week two was an old rivalry, a Big Nine rivalry that, us and Carmen Ainsworth, that's historically a great program. And they have some good athletes and some good players. And we did a good job of preparing well and executing. So it was a good game. The kids played tough, and yeah, we're just looking forward to this week.
And of course, a big week for you. You guys do pretty well on the road. What has it been like? What has made you guys get some big wins in some pretty tough environments, especially in the last few years?
No, I think it's the kids' focus. That the players they do a great job of focusing no matter who we play or where we play. Just keeping it you know just focused on the jobs at hand that they need to do. Every field is 100 yards, and you gotta go out there and execute every play that you can, and do it with tremendous effort. And that's just something that we preach and practice and doing your 111th, and that doesn't change anywhere you go. So the environment may change, but who we are can't change, and that's important going on the road or even playing at home too.
Yeah. And speaking of playing at home, of course, you guys will get to do that this week. Before we get into this week's opponent, just the first home game of the year is always special. There's nothing like playing in front of your home crowd, especially, obviously with the facilities that Grand Blanc has had the last couple of years. What has it been? What's it like to play a home game in front of your home crowd?
It's a special environment. We have a gorgeous stadium that the community has given us, and we're really thankful for it. And just the environment itself during the game, the marching band, the stands, the student section, it's a great atmosphere, and I think that just gives a little added boost to the performance of the players. Just them feeling like they could play in front of their home crowd and in front of their community. It's awesome feeling, and it's just an awesome environment. We have an incredible facility, and we're really thankful for it.
So who's really stood out to you and really on your team that who's really just been obviously I think we know some of the main players on Grand Blanc, but who's really just maybe someone we haven't talked about yet who's really been making an impact on this team?
I mean, there's so many guys, to be honest. You got Jake Morrow, Casey Sendry, Micah Kemp, Jeremiah Coleman on the offense making huge plays. Those are the kind of the notable names. On the offensive end, the other guys that have really been stepping up have been Aaron Jones, our tight end. That's a 3-year starter. That's starting to get some attention, and a sophomore running back that's just been a stud is Ashton Brown. Violent, physical, runs behind his pads, and is an extremely good blocker. And then our front five have been playing really well. Jack Walker, Jack Stewart, Blaine Esquivel, a sophomore guard, Alex Fisher's been really stepping up. And then Joey Asperger at right tackle, moving out to right after playing guard last year. He's done a great job. So offensively, we've been clicking well. We've had some explosive plays and just executing. And then defensively, I mean, our front four are really aggressive. It starts with Alan Frank, and then Braylon Toyne's a returning starter as well, and then the man in the middle that's replacing Joey LaRobadier, who was a 120 tackle a year type of kid. It's Robert Giles, a junior that's played defensive end, played tight end. We moved him to linebacker, He's doing a great job. He's very physical. He's big. He's athletic, and when he gets his hands on you, he makes good plays. And then in the back end, Dalen Taylor, a corner that's super physical, has stepped up, and same with a new sophomore safety, Keandre Tum Tum Cummings, guys that just have done a great job. So, we want to continue to just improve every week, and we know guys will step up in certain positions, and it's going to be awesome to see, them start to click and once they get more experience.
Okay, so of course, some a good opponents coming into Grand Blanc. Saginaw Heritage, of course, is this week's opponent in week three. Obviously, I know that it's not been the best start for them. Of course, they're 0-2 coming into this game, but really, but this is a solid team. Justin's always going to get those guys ready to go. But what's it going to be like facing a Saginaw Heritage team? That they may be 0-2, but they're still a pretty solid team.
Yeah, you're 100% right. They're a tough, gritty football team that has a lot of great athletes, and they're well coached. Justin does a great job. He's done a tremendous job up there, leading them to multiple district titles and things like that in his tenure there. It's just going to come down to us doing our jobs, and executing and playing really physical, disciplined football. They're a type of team that you got to throw the record out the window because every game, they're going to give you their best, and we have to come ready to play and, bring intensity and physicality and some discipline to get the job done.
Okay, I know that every game maybe somehow has a theme to it, with homecoming and youth night and all that stuff. What's going on for the first game at Grand Blanc?
So we have every first home game for here, since as long as I've been here. I think it's been a tradition for a long time. It's called Freedom Fest.
Yep.
So it's kind of like we invite all the elementary school kids, and they get T-shirts, and they do like arts and crafts and have bounce houses and things like that before the game. It's just a really fun kind of party for them, and they get it to go in the game for free. And then all of our military, first responders, and police and fire department and things like that. They're super involved in the game as well. So it's just a fun night. It's a great environment and atmosphere for the kids, and it should be a beautiful night too on Friday.
Absolutely. It looks like and weather's looking pretty good, fingers crossed.
Mhm.
So it should be a fun one for the first game of the year over at Grand Blanc. But Caleb Forr, thanks for spending a few minutes with us, and best of luck this week against Saginaw Heritage.
Thank you, Casey. Have a good one.